Hi, I'm Jerry Netleba. I'm on the board at Invent, and I've been happy to be involved with them for a number of years, and I think some of the things they're doing are really quite interesting. What we're going to talk a little bit about is how is retail changing? It's always changed, but what makes the omni-channel change a little bit different? And if you think about traditional retail, and this is highly simplified, but there's this old saying, stack it high and let it fly. And basically we put inventory in front of customers, and we got customers in front of inventory, and we tried to sell stuff. And we had very simple statistics or KPIs for how well this worked. In stock, how well did we satisfy the customer in turns? How well did we satisfy Wall Street? And if we look at what's going on with omni-channel, well, let's talk a little bit about what omni-channel is. It's putting inventory into motion. It's basically making it not singular at a point in geography, but saying we can flow it from anywhere to anywhere. And that replaces these simple assumptions of turns and in-stocks with very complex questions. Node KPIs are kind of meaningless. If I can flow inventory from point to point, what does it really mean if I'm in stock at a point if I can service that demand elsewhere? So with inventory in motion, really what matters is how well is the entire system supporting the customer, and most importantly, what are the costs and profit associated with that? It's a financial set of KPIs now that matter more than anything else, because these heuristic KPIs don't really link us very closely to how we make and lose money. So today we think a lot of retailers have omni-channel mandates that basically a lot of companies are saying we need to figure out how to use our inventory, put it in motion, and get it to the customer wherever they are, wherever they want it. And this leads to a planning conundrum, which is how do I plan for this kind of world? And the conventional tools that I have to measure, manage, and change that are oftentimes stretched. We see a lot of companies really scratching their head trying to figure it out. If you use conventional metrics of service levels at every node in your supply chain, and you make all your stores or many of your stores ship points or hubs, store hubs, if you set those inventories based on the demand patterns, et cetera, you just need way too much inventory. So we need a different kind of planning framework. And what Invent's been working on is if you think about it, the Invent has always optimized inventory in the planning phase around profitability. Their solutions generate a lot of profit impact, both for long life and short life. But that's one layer of the whole supply side or supply chain. That's the planning layer. And if we think more in a more overarching way, what Invent's been working on is something called Omni-AI for omni-retail, which is how do I design my network to support an omni-channel? Like what network structures work best? We can try many different structures, but in traditional retail, we typically do trial and error. We try something, we measure it, we see if we like it or we don't, and then we evolve it. The problem is with hundreds of nodes, the combinations are just too many to do through trial and error. And frankly, most retailers are challenged to make these changes much faster than through a series of trials and errors. Planning in the center is kind of the traditional place that people optimize, and Invent's been profit optimizing that planning, or where do I bet my inventory function. And the final part is execution, which is I've got customers now that say, send it to me. Where do I send it from? How do I fulfill that execution? How do I profit optimize the fulfillment of customer demand? So those are three questions that if you can integrate those into one framework that's all financial, you can coordinate all of those elements to work together effectively to solve and deliver inventory to customers profitably.